Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning edition of Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon. We'll be on here till 10 o'clock. Excuse me. This will be a short edition. So we're going to do a 1 hour show. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes, maybe. And then tonight we'll be on at 11 o'clock for our big show, which is from 11 to 1, our 2-hour show. Hetty and everybody, good morning. Blessings to everybody out there. Much love and much light to all of you. And we're glad to all have you here. And last night we had a big show. I've got most of the shows on my YouTube channel, which is Astro Command Spaceship News. And I think I have one more show that's downloading, and I'll be caught up with all the shows on my YouTube channel from here. This show that's been recorded will be also on my YouTube channel, before tonight or by tonight. So we're pretty much caught up. Welcome to Encounters. To renew the show, we're a show that's usually on at night at 11. All my shows are recorded here on TikTok and then transferred over to YouTube. Astro Command Spaceship News is my main page up there. I'm also starting to add UFO video footage on that as well. And so you'll see a little bit of that here and there. And also on my main page here, there's a lot of UFO or spaceship footage that's real. So you can check out things I do post every couple of days, new footage. People are sending me videos, I'm reviewing them, and those will be posted accordingly to my main page here on TikTok. Kev, welcome to the show. I'm also a host for people that are new to the show. I am host for 21 years on WESU FM 88.1 non-commercial listener-supported Pacifica radio. So I've been doing NPR Pacific Radio for 21 years. I'm a contactee since the 60s. And my contact was very positive as a kid. The most important thing that I'll never forget is that my cosmic family, or the people that I saw on the ship in the flying saucer, told me that you're not from this world. And I never forgot that. I never forgot that growing up. And I always remembered visually what they looked like. I remember the ship. Everything is imprinted in my consciousness. So, yeah, I remember everything. The Lizard Wizard. I've seen a UFO last year in my home state of Perth, Western Australia. Interesting. Interesting. So it's good to see everybody here. Good morning, wherever you are around the world. And you're just getting to see our show for the first time. We're trying to do some morning shows. They're not as long as my shows that I do at night. One of the things we are here to do, this is a spiritual UFO show, so I'm not your nuts and bolts guy talking about what kind of metal it was, or did they have like lights flashing or whatever. To me, that's not so much important. The most important thing I can do here is interview people, tell you what's going to happen about contact in 2026. We get into all of that stuff because that's really the most important thing we can teach you, is that not only have you been lied to, of course, by the governments of the world, including the government here in the United States, but, and I said it last night, and I'll say it again, that these hearings that are coming up in Washington, that these congressional people that want the answers, they're not going to get any answers. These people that are supposedly coming forward that have information, who cares? Yeah, I say, who really cares? Because when it comes down to it, if you're video recording UFOs that are not terrestrial, disclosure is happening right above us in the skies all over the world. Why do we need to go to watch a hearing on some cable channel like CNN or whatever when you are the ones having the experiences? The fact is, I've interviewed people on here since last year that have been abducted by ETs. I've interviewed people that have had positive encounters with space people. I've interviewed all kinds of people on this subject. And this, to me, is disclosure on this show every single night when I'm on the program here. I find disclosure is you. You are disclosure. They want you to think that you're not disclosure, and they're going to be the ones to tell you disclosure. Really, the government's going to tell you, and they're going to have these public hearings, and these people are going to come up and sit behind a desk or something when the congressional people are in their seats looking really professional, and they're going to ask really serious questions. And they're going to say, can you tell us what you did in that program? As well, I can't really tell you all of it. I can just tell you this specifically. Can you give me the question in a different way that I can answer it? So you know how it's going to go. These people are going to be saying, okay, this is this. And then when you ask them a very pertinent question, they're going to say, I can't answer that right now. Good morning, Darren. I can't answer that right now. That's what's going to happen. You know, I've been around this deal for a long time. You know, I'm not some sort of a newbie, like interested in the subject of ufology. I've been a contactee. I'm connected with the Ashtar Command, have been all my life with the Star people. And I'm here to bust the matrix. I'm here to shake it up. You know, if I wasn't going to shake it up, I wouldn't be here. But I'm here to shake it up because I want people to realize you've been had by your world governments about the subject. They've never told you the truth. What's really funny is the British government a number of years ago released from the MOD supposedly their files on UFOs, and it was a farce because they have probably information on video footage that they're not showing the people in Britain. You know, let's face it. The British government lies to their people about UFOs and contact, just like the American government does, like the Chinese government probably does, just like all the governments do. And we're going to get answers from these people? Really? I'll tell you. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Becca. So we don't know what we're going to talk about. Well, we kind of do know what we're talking about, or what we're going to talk about. So glad to have you here for an hour and 15 minutes. We'll be on till 10:15 a.m. Eastern, here from the United States, broadcasting all over the planet Earth. Yes. And a glass of apple cider. I had my coffee this morning with a little bit of whipped cream, and now I'm drinking apple cider. And I've gotten people addicted on my show to apple cider. It wasn't my intention, but it seems like that's what's happening. Amina, thank you for the roses. Thank you so much. Lacopanyan.com, thank you for the follow. I'm hoping to pronounce that right. Panda Retro, thanks for joining us. So we have to understand one thing is very clear. The reason why all these things and hearings are happening, no one's going to ever tell you the truth about that. The reason why all these hearings are happening, whether they know it or not, you know, I'd be surprised if they don't. I've experienced with UFOs several times and lost time as well. Sam, we're going to bring Sam up. Hey, Tara. Better to be addicted to apple cider than other things. Let me see here. I'm going to bring Sam. So here's how it works. You have to be over 18 to be a guest on the show. No kids on the show. No smoking on the show. No vaping. No drinking. No drunks on the show. No drugs. No paranormal discussion. No politics. And no religion. And no trolls. So we're going to bring Sam up as our first guest. Hey, good, Darren. We'll see if Sam wants to come up with us. You're watching Encounters, the morning edition. I'm your host, CmdrAleon, and Sam is joining us this morning here on our program.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sam. How are you, and where are you located?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
Oh, great. We have a lot of people in Texas having sightings and so forth. So tell us about when things started for you and how it all began.
Well, it started in my early 20s. I was with a friend of mine driving through, I guess, Pasadena area.
Oh, by the way, not to interrupt you, can you bring yourself on camera this morning?
Do what? I'm sorry?
Yeah, can you go on camera live? Can you turn your camera on?
I prefer not to. I'm in the company of other people.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll do it. If you weren't in company, I'd say do it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I was with a friend of mine that's a quadriplegic. I was taking him to, I guess, one of his attorneys. It was during the fall. I don't remember the year, but we were coming off of, I guess, going 45 south towards Galveston, towards his area where he was living. And then we took a shortcut because the traffic was pretty bad. So I went the back way. And we were sitting, like I said, it was in the fall around, I guess, 6:30, 7 o'clock. You know, it gets dark then. We were driving and we stopped at one of a light by a close to convenience store. No one was around us. Back then, that street was only a two-way street. Then anyways, the light turned green. We passed through and we were turning, making a little curve, and something flickered like really bright at my left because I was driving. I mean, it was so bright, the flicker. It's like if someone gets a mirror with the sunlight and shines it at you. That's how it hit me. And I looked and I just couldn't really take what I saw sitting like floating over the homes, probably about maybe a football field high above the houses, which close to Ellington Air Force Base.
Okay.
I looked and I glanced again because I didn't know what I was seeing. I was like, and I even told my friend, I didn't want to say exactly what I said.
Right. I got you.
What the F is that? And when I looked again, he kind of like looked over because I put myself back. He kind of looked over and kind of like, what is that? And then it shined at us again. Like I said, I clearly seen it. It was about a football field above the homes. I would say it was bigger than probably 10 airplanes passed sitting right next to each other.
Oh my God, that's big.
And it was just hovering there. The lights that was showing, and then the clouds underneath it were like funneling through it, like circling. One was going clockwise, and one was going counterclockwise underneath the craft.
Oh my gosh!
And I can clearly see all the lights, little windows with like some kind of bright lights coming out of them, and then the colors from the craft itself were just crazy. I mean, I couldn't even explain it, and it just happened like so fast. And when we saw that, it flashed us, and then all I would remember was driving down that same road, pitch dark.
Did you have it flashed you? Do you I'm gonna say this. Excuse me. Okay, I was gonna say. It sounds like you might have had missing time.
Yes, because all I know is I was making a little left turn. Like I said, the way the little road turns is like a little S kind of design.
Yeah.
And when I'm making the little left turn is when it shined at me and I saw that. And through that little curve, like I said, we're driving about 30, 35 miles an hour on that road turning. That's how you have to turn with the little curves. And when it flashed us, that's all I remember was being in the car with no radio on. The way the radio on, we were talking, back and forth. I've known this guy for 25 years plus. We're just talking back and forth until we saw this. Then flash back to we were in the car driving on the same road after the other curve. That's all I remember.
Right.
Was it dark and the radio was off and we did not speak a word to each other until I dropped him off.
Sam, were you in like a more country-ish area of Texas?
Yes. Because Pasadena and huge. Pasadena is like to the far south of Houston. So Pasadena is a small area. And that, like I'm saying, it was literally like right next to Ellington Air Force Base.
Okay. And also, to put in perspective, this spaceship was really big.
Yes, it was huge. I mean, it literally, like I said, was longer than 10 airplanes if you lined them up. It was longer than that. Like I was saying, all I remember was us driving back on that same road, pitch dark. Didn't say a word. No radio was on. Didn't say a word to each other. I mean, we had probably maybe 10, 15 minutes more to get to his house.
Wow.
And we did not say a word. And I remember just dropping him off, getting out of the car, taking his wheelchair out of my trunk, giving him his wheelchair. He got in his wheelchair and he left it. And I was like, all right, man, see you later. And I got home and my wife was bitching me out saying, where have you been? You called me earlier saying that you were going to be home in 45 minutes.
Wow.
And I didn't get home till almost 10 o'clock. And this was
what time? It was 6 o'clock when this thing happened, correct?
Yes.
And you didn't get home until 10 o'clock.
Around 10 o'clock.
So you had a couple hours of missing time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When you had the missing time, and you came back, did you notice anything like possibly implanted into your body?
Uh, it's it's
I'm
a
not.
weird experience. I couldn't
Yeah.
really say yes, and I can't say no,
Hmm.
because I've experienced them several times, not just that one time.
Really?
Yes, I've experienced with my son, and I'm a film producer. That's what I do for a career.
Oh, okay.
And I was with my son and one of my actor friends that we were driving back to California, taking him after a movie set that we just wrapped up. So we're like, hey, he's like, I'm gonna drive back. You want to go with me? I'm like, yeah, let's go. My son went with us, which was 12, 13 years old at the time. We were
Hmm.
driving into California, to the bottom part of California, coming up, I guess, through the military area, and we were driving, and literally, I mean, around 8 to 9 of the UFOs flew from the sky up
Oh my
and
gosh.
lined up across the sky. Like, I couldn't even, it was so perfectly lined up, all of them. My son was like, wow, look, dad, look, dad. And of course, flares fall, they don't sit.
Right. They don't sit. That's
And my
right.
son is like, wow, look, 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 look. So we pulled over and I showed them, and they were looking at and watching them, and they were just lined up, and one by one, probably for like 5 to 6 minutes, they stood there, and then one by one, they shot up in the sky each.
Oh my God.
My son was like, wow, my friend, that was his first experience for both of them two.
Yeah. That's
And yeah, that was
amazing.
that. And then, of course, where I live at, I've actually caught one. When I say it was so big, it was cloaked inside of a cloud.
In a cloud.
I
Yeah.
actually got a I
Yeah.
actually got a picture of it.
Did you with all these sightings, did you just get your phone out and any videotape?
Well, the first one, remember, I was driving. I
Right.
didn't
You couldn't
know
do it.
that
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
happened. And then with
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
son, I didn't, because it was just the spur of the moment. I mean, a lot of people says, "Oh, your phone, get your phone, get your phone." But when you see things like this,
Right.
your phone is your last thing on your mind.
You're not thinking. I've had that happen to me when I had sightings, so I can
Yes, when
really
you're
understand.
there, it's the excitement and the unknown, what you're seeing, kind of takes you off of your mind of understanding what you're seeing. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm saying,
Oh, it
I got a
does.
picture of one in the back. I actually have a picture. It's in the backyard, just sitting there, and clouds do not make jagged shapes,
Yeah.
and consistent jagged shapes all the ways across the sky.
Hmm.
I mean, when I say, if I showed you this picture, you'd be like, wow. I mean, you can see the shape of it. It's a UFO, but there was jagged edges all the way to the top of the craft,
Hmm.
to the picture, to the clouds. When I say jagged, they were sharp. Clouds
Hmm.
don't make sharp shapes.
Yeah.
And
No, that's
consistent.
yeah. And so when the first sighting happened, what year was that? You had several other sightings since that point. Are they all in
Yes.
the same year, or are they in different
No,
years?
several different years. Like I said,
Hmm.
my home that I was in just passed about 3 years ago. I've
Hmm.
had probably like three sightings there.
Okay.
One, like I told you, one that was in the cloud. When I say it was
Hmm.
so big, it was from skyline to skyline. That's how big I see it.
Wow, that's crazy.
I have the picture.
Can you show us the picture on the screen, on the green screen? If you have
Uh,
the picture on your phone,
I
you
don't think
just go on the
my
green screen.
I don't think it'll allow that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it does. You just take the picture from your photo gallery on your green screen and just go to the photo and it'll be on your background so we don't have to see your face. We can see the picture.
Hmm. I don't
Yeah,
know how to do that.
yeah. So you press your enhance button on your TikTok and you turn on your camera. You go to effects, and in the effects, you have a thing where you can go to trending, faces, holidays, or green screen. You go to green screen, press that, and then it'll bring up your photos in your photo gallery in your smartphone. And if you find the picture, you can actually play it. You can actually show us the picture. I know how
Uh,
to. I'm good. I know how to do this.
yeah, I don't. I
Yeah.
just have a few people around, so I'm just kind of like
Yeah.
everywhere.
No worries. So what's the last year of the several years of these sightings? What's the most recent one?
Was the picture that I have, and then one busting. And one time I had my girlfriend at the time. She was out of town at work, and I was at home sitting in the backyard in my hot tub, just kind of just relaxing in the
Yeah.
backyard. My whole backyard was all woods. Behind my
Yeah.
house was all woods.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, acres and acres of all woods.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just sitting there, just enjoying the evening, and then I heard this sonic boom, like big loud boom in the sky, and I was just looking up, kind of like, what was that? What's that noise? Then this green kind of mist. It's hard to explain, but it was like some green kind of electrified mist kind of formed in the
Wow.
sky.
Huh.
About probably maybe about a mile up in the sky, just formed over by my backyard. I mean, like I said, this green kind of mist with
Yeah.
the
That's crazy,
electric
man.
just kind of like was forming, and I was just looking up at it like, where's that coming from? And it
Yeah.
just, and this light comes, and then it just gets like really electric. I mean, it was just hard to kind of to understand it, but and this light comes, big bright ball. I mean, I wouldn't even say a ball. It was just so big, shot out of it.
A ball
And then
shot out of the green mist.
yes, it comes flying out of the green mist. It kind of makes me think it was some kind of teleportation kind of, you
Do you think
know,
it was like a portal?
I would call it that, yes.
Yeah,
And
because
like I said, when I was looking at it, it kind of flashed like this weird bright green, and this big
yeah.
light comes flying out of it, across out of it, literally. I couldn't even say how far, and then stopped and then shot up.
Yeah, that's crazy. Definitely, it's a portal. That was a portal that opened for that craft, that spaceship to come out. Had that. It was like that green mist was an opening for a portal. That was an actual spaceship came out and then went straight up into space. Correct?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, when I say that, it's not crazy, but it's
Yes.
amazing.
It's just
Um,
something. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to share this picture because I can't even see.
yeah,
My
and
vision is pretty crappy
the,
right now.
oh,
Sorry.
no problem.
I'm
With
51, so my vision is not
you're a
okay.
young guy. You're a young guy. Don't even worry about that. But on the show here, it's really easy with TikTok. When you go into your enhance button, you just press enhance. It's like a little like long stick, like it's in white, and then you press the effects button with the little smiley face, and then you'll have an option to trending, new, play, face, holidays, and
Where
green
do I
screen.
push that at? So
On your phone, whether it doesn't matter if you have an iPhone or an
I'm on
Android
an
phone.
iPhone.
Yeah, so your iPhone, same thing. You're basically tell me what you see at the bottom of your TikTok on
I
your
see it
screen there.
says me, meetings, rose, gift, and then a little bitty kind of arrow.
Mini arrow. Okay. I don't know why, but
I
there's
guess
an
the
enhanced
arrow is
thing.
the share.
Yeah, that's a share. But what's next to the arrow? Is there another thing that says enhance?
No, it says gift. There's no enhance on here.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a thing that says? Yeah, I don't know that you can do it unless. Yeah, I don't know why, but I know I've had other guests on their phones. They go on the green screen. If you're able to get to the green screen, that would be able to
That's
be
what
where
I'm
you can get your
trying to
photos.
find.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
If
trying
anybody
to
with an
find.
iPhone wants to help out here on the show, we'd love to see the photo. If worst comes to worst and you want to send it to me, I can put it on my
Yes,
my
I can
photo
do
gallery.
that. I have
Well, why don't
no
we do
problem
that?
doing that. It's
You
just
send me
I'm just
the
trying to.
yeah, send me the photo. I'm going to give you my email while you're on the show here. We have Sam in Texas and sharing some really
Can I share it?
amazing.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out see if I can share it with you on
Yeah.
like through your chat. Like sending you a video, like a chat message, and then it'll allow me to
Yeah. If you
possibly.
send it to me, I have my iPod. I can actually show the picture to people. Just send it to me on my thing here, and what I'll do is I'll show it to people on the screen of my iPad. So if you're following me, then just message me the video, the picture, and I can show it to them right now.
Let me see. I am following. I'm just trying to see.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
And while we're talking, you say you're a filmmaker. What movies are they? Some movies that people would know about or heard about?
I've done comedy and I've done horror.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean they're everywhere. I've worked with tons of celebrities.
Okay.
Right now, I'm in the process of working with the Wahlberg brothers right now.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. So you're a very creative person, which
Yeah,
is good. For my whole thing with media has been radio, and also my show went viral here, which was Counters, which is the
yeah.
number one
Someone
UFO
said you
talk
can't
show.
send a pic on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so we'd love
Well,
to
you
show that
see
picture or
mine if you
photo.
like after we get off, you're welcome. I mean, like I says, I haven't used TikTok much.
Yeah,
And I'm not feeling familiar. Like I says in the bottom, it just says Mike Moti something Rose gift and that little arrow. That's all it
yeah.
says at the bottom.
Okay, no worries. If you
But I'm more
send
than
me,
welcome to share it with you and
yeah,
a
and I'm
picture.
following you too. So
Yeah,
what you'll have to do is go ahead.
and I have also seen a few of them right by Ellington. Ellington Air Force Base has tons of hot sightings.
Really?
Yes, I've actually filmed with my brother-in-law. Has went one time was throwing the trash, and he
Hmm.
came running in saying there's UFOs in the sky, and I was like, okay. So I ran out with my camcorder. It was a camcorder
Hmm.
then, not the DVD video stuff. I know it was just camcorders back then,
Hmm.
and I actually recorded some flying around off of in the sky by Ellington Air Force Base, and for some reason the unit stopped working and never powered on anymore.
Really?
Hmm.
Well, it
I
was. It
actually
was
still
probably.
have the camcorder with the tape still stuck in it, and I've tried multiple times different power sources to try to plug in to see because I want to get the tape out,
Yeah.
and I can't get it out.
That's crazy. And a lot of times these spaceships, their technology is so way beyond anything we have here. It makes NASA look, NASA's that's another story, but uh, yeah, they're another story. Believe me, I've had my bouts with NASA, but
Yeah.
it's the whole thing is that people's stories documented where people will be driving down a country road, some spaceship comes over them, and their car stops working until the spaceship leaves. Or like what you're
Yes.
saying with this film, this video, it stopped doing whatever was functioning properly because of what
Well, it
happened.
allowed me to film, but after I turned it off,
Yeah,
and I put it in my bag. I never got to watch it that night. I put it in my
yeah,
bag, and then whenever I
yeah,
went to go the next day to turn it on and look at it through the little
yeah,
viewfinder,
hmm,
it won't work. It just
yeah.
didn't work at all. I mean, I plugged it back up to let it charge for like 6 hours. Didn't turn back on. I gave it to another friend of mine. I was like, "Can you figure out how to open this?" He's like,
Right.
"Okay." Nothing. Can't even get it open. Unless you
Really.
pry it
Yeah.
open. I don't know if the tape is still running through the inside still.
Yeah, you
You
got to be
know how,
careful with that. You don't want to
yes.
lose what you've
So if I
got.
try to force it and break it open, I don't know if that
Yeah. You should
still will.
probably you should probably bring it to some place that can deal with that delicately and I'm sure there's a group or somebody out there where you are that, maybe in one of the bigger areas, cities or whatever, if you look that can take that apart
Yeah.
without messing up the film because you don't want
Yeah,
to have
that's
that
like
messed up anyway.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. Wow.
That's how
That's
long it's been
amazing.
sitting in that camcorder, that tape.
Wow. Could you imagine if you can get it out and have it re-digitalized on a CD or something
I mean,
where
you
you
clearly
actually,
see what I got. You clearly see them flying in, lining up on
mm,
the sky. Same thing I told you when I was with my son and my friend in California.
yeah,
They were
yeah.
lining up in the sky, and then one by one, you see them shooting off. And I got all that on video.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Of course,
You're
it's
like,
VHS,
yeah,
camcorder. So I don't know how
yeah.
great it's gonna look because it was in the nighttime. But I've videoed it, but I just never seen the footage.
Wow. I'm so happy to have you on here as a new friend of the show,
Yes, I
Sam.
would
You know,
definitely, like I said, you just message me. I'll be more than welcome to share that picture with you. And when you
yeah,
see it, you're gonna
absolutely,
be like,
absolutely.
"Wow, that's how." I mean, I couldn't even comprehend what I was looking at. And I'm telling you, that cloud stood in the backyard
Mm,
all night to the morning, and I came out, and it wasn't there no
that's
more.
that's crazy. You've had some like amazing stories here. Like The thing with the flash of light, where you had the missing time and your wife was
Yes.
wondering where you were.
Yes.
That story is very amazing because I've
Well,
interviewed people that have missing time. Now, missing time doesn't always mean it's negative for some reason. That's why I was asking you if you felt different after you came back from the missing time. Did you feel any different than you were before you had the missing time?
mm, it's hard to remember.
Hmm.
It was just different.
Yeah,
I've experienced many things in life. I'm a skeptic. I know I like to know. We're just like
yeah,
everybody else. You don't believe until you see it.
right. That's right.
And
That's right.
I'm seeing this type of phenomenon was very different because I've experienced being a filmmaker. I've experienced with the other world with ghosts and stuff. I mean, I love to know what's out there besides us.
Right.
And I've experienced with all of that as well, from
Well,
ghosts to
when you had, because we don't get into to paranormal for a reason, because there's a lot of people doing it. But on the other side of the coin, on the cosmic, galactic, space, ET area, when that started happening to you as a skeptic, did it change your perception of reality?
um it just made me understand that we're not alone, and
Hmm.
everybody's. I mean, it's been happening to humans for a long time.
Yeah, it
and
has.
and 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 a lot of people, I've had friends that are like, oh my god, yeah, okay, cool. They don't understand it. I'm like, and to me, I'm not a person to just shove and tell you this is what I seen, this is what I seen, this is what I seen.
Right.
And
That's right.
people know
Yeah.
that I'm very credible when I tell you what I'm telling you, what I'm saying
Hmm.
is what it is, because they know that I am a skeptic. I am the one that'll tell you,
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
um
you're a healthy skeptic. Like for
yeah,
me,
yes.
I have had contact in the '60s when I was a kid. I went upstairs from my parents' house in Long Island. I was living in Plainview, and for no reason at all, my brother's 8 years older than me. My mother and father in the kitchen. I think my grandmother was still living with us. I go upstairs like I have to go upstairs for like no reason, and I'm preteen. I went into my brother's room, opened the wooden blinds, and there's this flying saucer ship hovering above the court, and it's nighttime, and there's like this radiant light around it, and I see men and women and what I call young adults that are relatively taller than me, and they're human and they're like beautiful looking people, and they told me I wasn't from here, and I was like, I went downstairs, I was excited, I went down to tell my brother, my mother and father or whatever, you got to come up, there's however a kid says things. They never came up. I was really upset. I started banging on the carpet, on the second floor. Then I got up after I got over being upset, went there and saw the spaceship again and the people, and they were still there. And I was like, they said, "You'll never forget us," and I
Wow.
never did. So I was a contactee when I was a kid. That changed my perception of reality right away. You know,
Yes, it's a thing that makes you wake up to what really is,
yeah,
that people don't understand, that they think it isn't. and
yeah,
and I mean, just like right now, the government's telling everybody yes, they exist, after they told them, everybody, for how many years, oh,
70 years,
these people are crazy, they
right,
it's a figure of their imagination.
right.
You got to have a hell of imagination to come up with these type of stories.
That's
I'm
right.
a
And
filmmaker. I have an
yeah,
amazing imagination.
yeah,
I mean, I make great product, and
yeah.
so, but I have never done anything of
Have you
that's not
ever?
real. I mean, I have a film that I did do, that I did never release it yet. That was about a abductee, a couple being abducted.
Mhm.
I did
Have you
make
ever thought of have you ever
a
thought of
movie.
doing a movie or like related to contactees? We know about the abductees, but there are the other side of it, and I can speak for the contactee part of it. There are people that are having beautiful contact with right now with people they're taking off planet. They have no missing time. They're having actual physical. I have a couple in the Appalachian Mountains that are having contact for the first time. Well, they've had contact, but they were physically, the husband was taken on a spaceship,
Yeah.
and they're called the Anunnaki, And
Yes.
so I have a great background in the subject here. So when I told them that, when they told me that, I did a test with them on my show the other night. I said, I know they can hear me, the Anunnaki, see if they'll come in your house. And the husband was getting telepathic communications. Oh, they're standing right
Wow.
behind them. And I got the names of the 2 or 3 of them. I can't remember the names. I have it on my show, on my YouTube channel, but I tested the theory to see whether that would work, and it did. I'm one of those kind of hosts that likes to, because I've been a contactee. I do test things on my show to see what will happen, and yeah, yeah. So I was kind of curious if you've ever thought maybe we can talk offline here, but maybe pursuing a film on contactees.
I am going to be writing a book here soon about my experience with the supernatural and
Mm-hmm.
and UFOs as well. I mean, I've experienced some crazy things. I mean, being seeing this was just open. I mean, I have friends that keeps telling me go get hypnotized so you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
remember it. I'm scared to
Yeah,
do that
you're scared to do that.
because I don't
Yeah,
want to break open something if I can't remember. There's a reason why it shouldn't be there, because I don't want to open up something that I
right.
remember being in that ship and remembering everything, being
Mm-hmm.
abducted. I don't want to open that door.
Right, and that should be respected and honored. The other thing is, one of the things I do, and I know you're new to what I do. I am connected off planet with a thing called Ashtar Command. It's a real thing,
Yeah.
and they're space people of the positive kind. They're not the ones abducting people. And the
Yes.
Ashtar Command are beautiful, beautiful men and women. They live on other planets. They have families. Although our planet is not like their planets. Their planets don't have shopping malls and money and all these things we have here
Yes.
in a materialistic world. They live in a very harmonious relationship, which is way different than we do with each other. And we have wars, we have pollution, we have all these things
Yes.
that are not something they have. And I've, because I'm a contactee, I know had many years. I'm also a healthy skeptic when it comes to, I can examine UFO footage and say it's AI or CGI. I've
One hundred
separated a lot of
percent.
that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So, and the dynamics of what we talk about, there's the Ashtar Command, which are beautiful people, and now everyone's talking about contact. You'll hear people on YouTube and other places talking about how we're going to have contact, and we
Yeah.
are. And I'm part of a group it's almost something that you can make a movie out after it happens. It's an incredible story. It would take too long to tell it, but when I got on TikTok and I'm on WECU NPR radio in Connecticut, I decided to do a show on spiritual UFO encounters,
Yes, sir.
and it went crazy, it went viral. So now that I've been doing it, I met a few people, 4 of them I met on here that I interviewed. One of them is in Vermont. Her name is April, friends with Fairies 1111. And when I met her, she has connections with fairies. Now, I know fairies exist, and she has
Of
real
course.
connections, and she has documentation. And after I met her, soon after, the Ashtar Command communicated with her, and they have a base up in northern Vermont near the Canadian border in the mountains. And she's documented, she's been on the ship hundreds of times, and she'll tell
Wow.
us when she's being taken off. She's got pictures of her cosmic biological family on the ship. She's documented that. I evidently, how could this even be? It's amazing. The 5 of us in the region, one's in Long Island, one's in New Jersey. My other friend, Chesno, is in the New Haven County area with me. So
Yes,
we
sir.
all met. I've interviewed all these people out of hundreds of people I've interviewed, and we're all going to go on the ship with her sometime between now and 2025. This
Yes,
is
sir.
a true story. So, this will be something down the road that I think will be part of Earth history. And I think it's because of the documentation. I've never been consciously on a spaceship, but I'm looking forward to it. It's
Likewise.
just yeah, it's going to be something that as a new
Conscience.
friend,
I want to be there
yeah,
consciously. I want to be
yeah, yeah,
aware. No.
aware of it. And now you're a new friend
Yeah.
of the show, and we become friends. We'll keep in touch with each other because I want
Yes.
to
My
let you know
last
when that
name.
happens.
If you look at my last name is spelled backwards. If you see it says Severe, you
Yeah, yeah.
flip that backwards. That's my last name. You can Google me.
Okay, good,
My
good,
last
good.
name is Rivas, but it's Severe.
Rivas.
You see it?
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
Google me and you'll see all my IMDb, my
Yeah.
career, everything that I've done and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I says, I have
Beautiful.
done a movie called ICU that is about two couples that are being abducted. I never
Interesting.
released it. I never released it because I wasn't happy with the product and
Right.
the effects that we were wanting to go for. I wasn't happy with it, so I scrapped it.
Yeah, no, you got to do that. There are times when I do a recorded video for my program here. I said, no, I'll take 3 or 4 takes on a 60-second video. I said, no, I don't like that. And that's what
Yeah.
you have to do. I mean, you get to the point where you want it to be just right. If you don't feel it's
Oh
right,
yeah.
you don't, you can't just throw it out there to people.
I mean, like I was saying, I mean, experience these things has been really eye opening and I understand what's going on. But like I said,
Mm.
I've actually witnessed a full blown exorcism as well.
Yeah, we won't get into that. but I don't, staying away from the paranormal. But let me ask you a question. So, yeah, I'm going to stay away from that. Since you work with people in Hollywood, I have to imagine people that are in Hollywood who like to do acting and actresses that on their own lives, I'm sure there have been people in that field that have also had UFO sightings or encounters, correct?
Yes.
Mm. Do you know a few that have that you can spill a name out or two?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
I have so much information right now. It's yeah, it's kind of hard
No, it's
to
all right.
think.
I throw things out. I'm one of these people that'll throw it right at you. You'll never know
No,
what I'm
it's
going to do
okay,
here. Yeah,
and I
yeah, yeah,
like that.
yeah. That's what I do. But you've been a great guest. I'm following you. I'm going to take a look. I'll get you my email to send me the picture, and we'll
Yes.
show it on my show here.
Yes, definitely. I'll definitely share it with you, and you can definitely share. I have no problem with that. If I had more stuff, I'm gonna try to get that camcorder open to see if I can get that tape out
Yeah,
because I know it has a bunch of bunch of stuff that I recorded. So
yeah. Well, if you have any more sightings, maybe learn how to use the green screen on your
yes,
camera.
I will.
Take time to do that. It'll be worth it. Then you can, when you come back on, if you have anything happen or you photograph a spaceship, we can see it on here.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Sam, it's a pleasure, man. It's good to know you. I feel like I've known you
Likewise.
for a while, and it's been a pleasure, man. Have a good one.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sam. Sam,
Mhm.
I'm going to take him off here. Sam is a filmmaker. He works, he's doing a film with the Wahlbergs. He's going to be doing people in Hollywood. And we thank him for being here. We're going to, give him our email when we message him. So and that's what we do here, where we bring people on here to share their stories, their encounters, and this is what it's all about, right? It's all about being transparent and bringing forward your stories. I think that again, like I said, disclosure is what just happened with Sam and I on here together. Disclosure is when people talk about a big spaceship, which Sam talked about in his other encounters. That's what it's about. It's been a pleasure, brother. It's been really a pleasure. And now I'm following him, and now we're friends. How do space people reproduce? Just like humans do. They have families, they reproduce just like we do on their own planets. It's a natural reproduction. No different. No different than us. The only difference is that the space people, the cosmic, the Christed space people, they live in a much higher state of consciousness than we do. Sometime I'd like to tell my story when I saw one and was very young, like 4 or 5 years old. I think it's Miss My Sheen. Would you like to come on now? You're welcome to come on the show now. We still have a little bit of time here. You're watching Encounters. Tonight I'm on at 11. My big show is 11 to 1, 2 hours. So I'm going to bring this person on. Oh, you have to change your setting. Change your setting on your TikTok. You're set to private. You need to change the setting. So if you go out, change the setting to public, and then come back in, and I'll bring you up. Karen, good to see you. John, Mark, did the ETs ever, the space people ever mention God, Jesus? Well, Jesus is a space being, and God, yeah, They believe in God and all the other planets. The star people do. Yeah. Why wouldn't they? God created the whole multiverse. Jesus is actually overseeing the Astral Command. Jesus is a space being. No, I never interviewed Travis Walton. I've read the book versus the movie. The book is much more honest than the movie is. The movie was a mistrial. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring. Yeah, you're still on private. You need to go in there on your TikTok. You might have to go out of my show and go on your TikTok and change the setting to public. So, yeah. Thank you for the thumbs up, John. I appreciate your question. Yeah, so people need to know this about the space people. The people that are from other planets that are human like us, they do believe in God. Although on Earth, we have a 3D world where the word God is misrepresented and the word Jesus on Earth is misrepresented who Jesus was. So religions have it all wrong. See, this is where I bust the matrix on my show here. Jesus is definitely a space being. And yeah. Pennsylvania, Chambersburg, PA, mountains full of wheels landing spots. Interesting. Vanessa, 77, welcome to the show, Vanessa. Let's see here. Paul C. Terra, welcome to the show. And I'm still has enough apple cider. When I go out this morning, I'll be getting my morning donut. Yes, I do eat a donut once in a while. Oh, interesting. John, you have seen them all your life. Only a few can see. Oh, interesting. Nisa says, hi, I answered an ad in my local paper about a UFO I've seen. I had two men in black come around. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to randomly do something here. You have to be over 18. No kids on the show. No smoking, no cursing, no vaping, no drugs, no drunks, no paranormal discussion, no religion, and no politics. And let's see, the person, Nisa, said he had the men in black. Nisa, how old are you? You have to be over 18, by the way, too. How can I invite contact with ETs, Valerie handlers? I'll get in that, if not this morning, tonight. Okay, let's see. I'm 58. Okay. We're going to bring this person up. And this is the #1 spiritual talk show at night, Encounters. I'm on NPR Radio, NPR Pacifica Radio, Sunday mornings with the Cosmic Eyes Show. And I'm your host of the show here, Nisa. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Well, it's afternoon.
Good morning.
I'm in the
good
UK.
Afternoon. You're in the UK, all right. So
yes.
Tell us what happened about you answering an ad in the paper.
Yeah, well, this was back in 1988. I was sitting out in my back garden, and a big triangle, it was only about 70 foot off the ground, come across me. And the middle of it was all see-through, but you could see each point at the ends, and it was like a watery sort of moving thing. Do you know what I mean? And it was massive, and it went over my house is quite slow. And a few days later, there was a advert in my local paper asking if anyone had seen anything like UFO.
Mm-hmm.
So I phoned up and I told them what I see. And a couple of days later, I had two men in black suits. I know it sounds strange, but with like their briefcase come round to visit and interview me. And they got me to draw what I'd seen and tell them what I'd seen.
Can you turn the TV off or turn it?
I'm sorry, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. This way we can hear you. Oh, much better. Thank you. Go ahead.
And well, they told me my sighting and what I'd written down was going into UFO files.
Mm-hmm.
And they was asking me all sorts of questions about, am I psychic and have I seen things, which I've seen a lot, like spiritual, and I've seen a lot of UFOs, but this was the best one I've ever seen.
So did they come after? Did they come knocking on your door after this big UFO was seen?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. And how did they know where you? How did they know where you lived?
Well, I phoned up this advert, and they asked if they could come round to see me. So obviously, I've gave them my address.
Okay.
But I was a bit wary about it, so I've got a couple of my neighbours to come and sit in with me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because I was a bit, oh God, what have I done? But yeah, I'm wondering if that was like government, you know?
Well, I can tell you that sounds like right out of the movie Men in Black.
I don't tell a lot of people because a lot of people think I'm crazy and laugh at me.
No, you're not crazy. You're living in a world now where most people would believe it. 30 years ago, maybe. Exactly. The reason why my show exists and I'm on NPR radio in the United States and doing what I do here is because the subject has changed. People more believe it. The minority would be the people that think you're crazy. They're now a minority. They're not a majority of the population anymore. Exactly. So you're in good. So when this happened with these two men, can you tell me what they looked like, the men that came in the black suits?
They just looked like us, you know.
Yeah.
They were quite slim built.
Yeah.
I can't remember how tall they were, but they was quite tall. But then I'm short. Dark hair, if I can remember rightly, but they just look like, you know, smart people in suits.
Yeah, yeah. And they looked human. They had, like, if you looked at their faces, did you notice anything weird about them?
Not that I can remember, no.
Okay, interesting. Well, don't if you do see another spaceship or whatever, and there's an advert for something like that, don't answer the advert.
No, I've seen a few since, and I've never, you know, because they wanted me to go to this place near me. Yeah. On a course thing about UFO. They wanted to find out about my psychic abilities and everything about me. But I refused to go to the course.
Yeah, see? And have you videotaped any of your sightings?
No, this one was in 1988. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have a phone then, like these sort of phones. Mm-hmm. But I've seen quite a few, but I've never got my phone out to video them.
Mm-hmm. So in 2024, you know, and as we go, there's going to be a lot of sightings as we're going into the next year, all over the world, actually, starting to increase. So one of the things you might want to do is document it and you know, on your phone, be able to, you know, just to be aware that they're whether you're in the UK or the United States or anywhere, you know, keep your phones, you know, charged up. And you've seen stuff before, so you have that innate ability to know if there's a spaceship coming over your area, you know, you want to videotape it, you know?
Yes. But
absolutely.
When this happened, I see a documentary all years ago now, and it was about this couple who lived in Wales.
Yeah.
And on this documentary, they said exactly the same thing which I see.
Yeah.
And it flew over towards where I am, like on my part of the country. They come in this direction. And they had the same, two men in black turned up at their house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so and it was like on the same night.
Same night?
Yes. And I've been looking everywhere for this documentary because it's driving me crazy. I've seen it and I can't find it.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you're telling the story here internationally on my show is important because it's documented. It'll be on my YouTube channel, all my shows, on my Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel, everybody. Yeah. I'll just mention that again, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. That's where you can find all my previous shows on encounters and all the guests I've had on. But so it sounds to me like I know that people in the UK are having experiences and different experiences. I've had people who are contactees having positive contact with space people. So I'm hearing all kinds of interesting stories here. I suppose you'll probably have more sightings.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, you will.
I hope
I'm
so.
pretty sure you will.
There was just something else I'd like to ask. I don't know if it was UFO or whatever. When I was about 18, I was walking down this alleyway and I walked into an invisible wall.
An invisible wall.
An invisible wall. And I was with a couple of people and they was behind me and they see it happen. I was walking and then I banged into something what wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was anything to do with the UFOs or it is
No,
always.
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not sure about that either. The other stuff I am sure about. You've had some interesting stuff over the years. All right, well, it's about 10 a.m. East Coast here. I want to thank you, Nessa, for coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you for letting me come on.
And we're on tonight. Our big show is on the nighttime at 11 Eastern.
I know that's about 4 o'clock in the morning here. Sometimes I'll catch you if I wake up in the night. I'll jump on and I'll catch you. And I think, I'm going to catch you in the daytime because I wanted to tell my story.
Yes, yes. So I'm really happy you did. Yeah. All right. Well, Nessa, thank you for being here. I appreciate your story, too.
Thank you very much for listening.
Okay. And Miss Sheehan,
bye-bye.
But take it easy. If you get that setting switched to public, we'll have you on tonight on the show. Definitely. So we're coming up. We're going to be here till about maybe 10:15. And then we're going to be signing off the show for this morning. Tonight we'll be on at 11 o'clock Eastern worldwide. And again, thank you, Nessa, for sharing. So how many people who can come on tonight have had stories to tell? And I think it's Kyle, TR16. I was just telling Kyle he wanted to have contact with the Zeta, which are the Greys. I said no. So I'm gonna explain that too. You don't want to have contact with the Zeta. You don't. The Zeta were the ones abducting humans for the past 70 years when an agreement was made with General Eisenhower to let them abduct people. In return, the Zeta gave the government reverse technology, spaceship technology. So don't even want to, the one thing you don't want to do is make connections with low vibe ETs. Don't do it. Don't even want to do it. Okay? What you want to learn about, Kyle, is the star people, the Ashtar Command people, the Palladians, the Arcturians, all those type of beings are of the light. Valerie, 11 o'clock Eastern. If you're in Arizona, that's 2 hours behind me. So 11, 10, 9 o'clock in Arizona. If you're on Mountain Time, it's 9 p.m. If you're on West Coast time, it's 8 p.m. Good to have you all with us here. And this show is being recorded, so if you missed any part of this show, this will eventually, in the next 24 hours, be on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. And this is Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. The NPR station I'm on is WESUFM.org, Sunday mornings, 11:30 to 1 p.m. I call that show the Cosmic Eye Ashtar Command Radio every Sunday morning. 3 hours ahead? Yeah. She was most likely abducted. All right, folks, I think we're going to wind it down. We got a full day. I had my coffee and my apple cider, and I'm still just like too relaxed to do anything. Sam, thank you. We appreciate you, brother. If you sent that, my email address for people that want to email me things like photos or UFO footage, my email is CMD. I'm telling you, I need to drink more apple cider. CmdRAleon @AOL.com. If you have UFO footage, just give me the date, time, and location of the footage. Also, if it's a photo of a spaceship or whatever, you can send it to CmdRAleon @AOL.com. All right, folks, I'm going to call it a morning. I'll see you tonight, and this has been Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon. Have a great Wednesday, and take care, everybody.